All right, and we are live. So hello, everyone out there on the interweb. If you're tuning in again, my name is Kevin Griffin. I'm one of the co-organizers of RevolutionConf 2017, June 1st and 2nd in the beautiful Virginia Beach, Virginia. Hey, and it's amazing that if you have the preview window open on another monitor, it will start playing automatically. So sorry about that. So RevolutionConf, part of our goal this year is to get to know all of our speakers before the conference. So you can make a very critical decision before you get there of who am I going to go see. And today we are joined by the wonderful Jenna Zeigen. Am I saying your last name correctly?
It's Zeigen.
Zeigen? Okay.
Yeah.
I've taken German and it's like,
Yeah.
it's how so, all right. Zeigen. I am so sorry.
No worries. It's a challenging one sometimes.
So, Jenna, we are pleased to have you, and you are presenting a talk at RevolutionConf called "On How Your Brain is Conspiring Against You Making Good Software." And so, before we even talk about that, I want to know more about you.
Sure.
Where are you from? What do you do? Who do you work for? And what dirty secrets are you hiding?
So I grew up outside of Philadelphia, and now I live in New York. I work for a company called DigitalOcean. We are a cloud hosting provider, simple servers, etc. Just trying to make deploying and spinning up our infrastructure really easy. And I'm an engineering manager here for our front-end infrastructure team.
Awesome. I'm a digital user customer. We even have, I don't know if we still do, but we had some of the RevolutionConf assets running on DigitalOcean. I am a huge
I think
fan.
we moved away.
To where? Scandalous. It's your dirty secret.
Our Frankenstein of a website. But awesome. So so that's the present. I really want to know your origin story too. How did you get started in software development or the software industry? Yeah, your origin story. How did you get from where you started to where you are now?
Yeah, so I was not a CS major or anything in college. I was in fact a cognitive science major, which does play a bit of a role in my talk. But for that major, we had to take a computer science class, and I put it off for as long as possible because computer science is hard and mathy and all of that stuff. And so I took that class, the introduction to computer science, my junior year. Turned out I loved it. It was great. It was hard, like everyone said it was. It was not mathy, like everyone said it was. And I decided that I wanted to learn as much as this is possible, to absorb what I could in college. Still kept my cognitive science major because I was already pretty deep into that, writing a thesis and stuff. But yeah, and then I stuck with computers after college. I was a participant in the fall 2012 batch of what's now called the Recurse Center, which is kind of like a writer's retreat for programmers, not your average boot camp or anything. There's people of all experience levels and stuff. So it was there that I was really able to dig into JavaScript and web apps and really hone my craft there and make some really cool stuff.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Let's move into talking about your RevolutionConf talk in particular.
Yeah.
So I said before, it's called "On How Your Brain is Conspiring Against You Making Good Software." So Jenna, if I'm an attendee and I'm looking at my schedule, what do I need to know about your talk going into it, and what can I expect to get out of it?
So you can expect a lot of stuff. There's going to be some science. It's about cognitive biases and how they impact our abilities to write good software, everywhere from actually writing the code to forming the teams that write that good code. So there's a lot of cognitive biases that we have that prevent us from doing the rational thing.
Could you give us an example?
Let me try and think of a good one. and think of my favorite, and I'm blanking on it right now.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. There's like a lot of ones where it's just like we are definitely not as logical as we think that we are, especially as like really smart programmers. Just like there's a lot of like logical fallacies and stuff. And then there's also like attribution errors and things like that. If you want to hear about more of them, you should come to my talk.
Yeah, definitely. I was chatting with the earlier speaker, and we got on a discussion of overengineering, where as developers we get into, we go through the space and we hear about all these patterns and practices, and we start setting ourselves up to solve relatively simple problems in a very complex way. And it kind of reading through your abstract, it reminded me of that that discussion that we had earlier. I know and Linda, I know you're in these environments as well. We come in and we see people just over engineering, putting way too much thought into things, and we're smart. We're really, like, all of us are really smart people, and we can kind of work against ourselves without meaning to.
I'm sort of imagining going to Jenna's talk and just nodding the entire time, because I can't really think of what these biases are either when I'm just like sitting here. But I have a feeling that you're going to start talking and go, oh, yep, that one. Oh, okay, yes, that too.
Yeah. I tried like weave in some audience participation, like raise your hand if you think this, raise your hand if you think this. Well, like, it's not the first one, but 90% of people think it is the first one. So don't worry about it.
No, I'm reading through your abstract, probably for like the 50th time. So one of the things you talk about is open offices.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference between, I guess, does science have a preference between open offices and closed offices?
Yeah, so the thing about open offices is you can only concentrate on so many things at once. Like concentration involves you like blocking stuff out, and especially in an open office. But like you're always processing, even if you're not like if it's not registering, you're like everything is getting processed at some point. So it's just detracting from your ability to actually focus on what you want to actually be focusing on. So I think they're not the greatest.
How does so the science and the ideas behind your talk, does that play a factor into what you do at DigitalOcean right now?
I mean, on a larger scale, like I'm not like sitting thinking there every day about like all the cognitive biases that the people I work with are committing on a daily basis. But as an engineering manager, a lot of what I'm thinking about is how to like debug these systems of humans and debug the individual humans with respect to the system. And just realizing these and having them in the back of my mind and in my tool set just gives me a better idea of how to think about these systems and know what could possibly be going wrong.
Is it easier to debug a human than it is a program?
No.
No. Awesome. Will this be your first time in Virginia or Virginia Beach?
I think so.
Oh, wow. So first time in Virginia?
Yeah, definitely my first time in Virginia Beach. I don't think I've spent much time in Virginia. If anything, it would have been like our Frisbee tournament because I played in college. I really don't remember all the places we went, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely did not get to enjoy the finer points of Virginia while I was there, if I were there.
Well, awesome. Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to while you're here? Are you going to try to do any touristy stuff?
Not really.
Not
I'm
really?
looking forward to nice weather and like a chance to like see the sun, especially today because it's like extremely dreary outside in New York.
We're the same way. Linda and I are under a tornado watch. So if we
so
both just go
oddly,
offline.
the sun, it was dark and it sounded like a freight train was coming through my window, and now there's sun shining on me. I'm terrified.
Great.
I'm gonna wait for like a cow to go past the window.
If we both go offline at the same time, send help.
I had a question for Jenna. I know you're submitting a lot of talks. You've been doing a lot of speaking. like, what made you decide to speak on this topic? What made you decide to get into speaking in general?
So this topic in particular, just a lot of my talks have to do with the intersection of like brains and minds and computers in some fashion. Another one of my talks was like, what if your brain were literally JavaScript? Just like taking these things that I have my actual degree in and trying to apply them in creative or less creative ways to the software industry and software in general and JavaScript and programming languages and all this stuff like that. Started speaking in general because I saw that mashup as something really unique and something cool that I could provide to the community. At the time when I started speaking, I was going to a lot of meetups. I was really involved in the Buro.js community as it was, like, I guess it was back in 2014, so it wasn't nearly as developed and hopping as it was now, but I was going to Brooklyn.js every month and just felt like it was time to give back to the community, and Jed Schmidt encouraged me to submit a talk. I was like, I don't have anything to talk about. And he was like, yes, you do. You'll figure it out eventually. And I submitted my talk, gave it, and then he was like, you should submit it to JSConf EU. I was like, that's a big conference for my first conference, but I'll try it anyway. And then it worked out, and then now I'm here.
That's awesome.
We're happy to have you.
Thanks.
Yeah. I think so. My first talk was Brooklyn.js. So I really love the user groups up there. And I have to recommend that for anyone who's trying to get into speaking, is to try to go to one of the Buro.js meetups and speak, because everyone there is so nice and so welcoming and really makes you feel comfortable, especially if you're a nervous wreck like I was.
Yeah. It's like not your average meetup at all. None of them are. So
I remember when
JS, which is also amazing. Shameless plug.
I remember when Linda came back, she was talking about the Brooklyn JS talk, and we use experiences from all of our travels to try to better enhance our events. And RevolutionConf is just built off of all of our personal experiences of what we've disliked seeing and what we've loved seeing at different meetups and conferences and whatnot. Yeah. So we're hoping that we're able to pull everything together and create this amazing experience. So as a speaker, you've gone around to a lot of different conferences, meetups and whatnot. Do you have any recommendations or advice for someone who RevolutionConf might be their first conference or their first like intimate conference? We're not a huge several thousand person conference. It's 500 people, so not huge, not small, kind of right in the middle.
Sure. I would say, like, conferences can be overwhelming, and it's okay if you need to, like, go take a walk, especially because there's so much pressure to, like, meet people, which is really good, and you should try and meet people if you're feeling up to it, because there's just people from everywhere. And also the people who tend to come to these smaller conferences are often really nice, and they have that really community focus. So generally the people you'll talk to are pretty cool, but don't worry about it if you're tired.
Go take a walk on the beach. We put one there for you to walk on.
How considerate.
Well, awesome. Now this is my favorite part of the talk. Shameless self-promotion. Do you have anything you're working on right now that you want to tell people about to go check out?
Nothing in particular. I tend to, like, my talks are my side projects, because if I, like, thought of them in any other way, I'd be worried that I didn't have any side projects. Just okay if you don't. I'm just the type of person who, like, always wants to have something going on. So, I don't know. I have a lot of talks on the internet. They're cool and about brains and computers and JavaScript. So you should watch them.
Where else are you speaking, like in the next couple months?
I do have another one lined up. I'm still deciding on it, but probably front trends. In Poland, just a matter of like scheduling stuff. But yeah, other than that, it's been kind of a like low-key year for me. I spoke at so many conferences last year, and like it being not my job, also like as an engineering manager, you have to be like present a lot. It's a lot of dealing with people, getting on calls, being in meetings, making sure that people are on blocks. It's not really like the type of thing that you can do on a plane on the way back. So I just had to figure out the right balance of being at these conferences and also being a present engineering manager and getting my job done because I care about my team.
All right. So you mentioned all your talks. Where can someone find you on the internet if they would like to reach out to you before RevolutionConf?
Yeah, I'm Zeigenvector on Twitter, which is a nice pun on my last name. And that was a fun one. I was in a computational cognitive science class, and the French professor said something about eigenvectors, and I was like not paying attention, and I was just like, what? That sounds so much like my last name. I have to do something with this on the internet. So then it became my Twitter handle. And
I'll admit that I didn't get it. I was like, I think this is a reference that goes above my head, so I had to Google it. But I'm okay admitting that.
Linear algebra. I will admit that I could not tell you right now exactly what an eigenvector is, but I know it's something mathy and something cool, and it gets me a lot of nerd points on the internet. So I keep it around.
I have a book on my bookshelf that tells me something about that. I remember
exactly.
I remember my computational algebra class from CS, and no, I think I took that class twice. That is above my pay grade. So more respect to people who understand that stuff.
Yeah. And I'm just Jenna on the RevolutionConf Slack. That was an easy one to remember.
That's right. I haven't mentioned that in any of our other chats, but if you're a RevolutionConf attendee, we have a Slack channel. You can come talk to the speakers now and way before the conference. So Jenna and all the others, everyone's in there.
Yeah.
And the organizers, if you have any suggestions or complaints. I have my first
visitor.
Cat visitor. Is it time yet to talk about cats, Kevin?
Yeah, go ahead. It's cat time.
I just want to know how many cats Jenna has and your cat's names and which one is your favorite, because we all have a favorite.
I personally have 0 cats because I am too allergic to keep them on my own, which is like the worst tragedy. Not the worst, clearly, but like it bums me out a lot that I could not have a cat of my own because I love them quite a bit. So a lot of my cat interactions are like behind glass.
What about like Justin has guinea pigs. Are you able to like go visit maybe his guinea pigs or other people's guinea pigs?
And I'm not so certain about the guinea pigs because they're named Claritin and Allegra, so I'm kind of worried I'd also be allergic to them. Yeah, I like looking at cat pictures on the internet. My phone background is of my parents' cat. Kind of can't see because of the glare.
Yep, I see it.
But that cat's name is Miso. I'm excited to see Miso next week because going home for a holiday. And also there's Sushi that lives there too. We have a theme. My parents have a theme for their cats.
So do you have to take a lot of like medication before you go home?
Yeah, I tend to make sure I have a nice stock of Zyrtec and that I have been consistently taking my asthma medication for at least a week beforehand because that is important. And then there's just some things I just can't control and I just deal with it for a week. Something I can deal with for a week, but not forever and ever. Like, yeah.
Well, if I didn't already tell you this, we have a cat cafe opening in May. So if you can handle cats for maybe 15 minutes, maybe I can do a group trip. to the,
Oh, yeah,
cat cafe during RevConf weekend.
That would be great. I haven't actually like been in a cat cafe yet. There was one right by my office for the longest time, so I'd often like go by and interact with the cats through the glass, as I previously mentioned. And then I guess it didn't work out for the cat cafe, and now there is no longer a cat cafe, which is sad, because the window cats were kind of definitely a good pick me up when I was stressed out about something or work. Yeah.
Linda, are you done with cat time?
I think so.
Do you have any more pressing cat
My
questions?
cat Sarge is the one who joined us.
Who is that?
Sarge is his name.
Okay.
I don't know where that came from. He was a shelter cat. He was a foster fail, so I have no idea where that came from, but it fits him, sort of.
How many are there?
I have 5 here. Hopefully my landlord is not watching this video. If she is, I have 2 and 3 are my mom's.
Okay.
Well, awesome. All right. Well, we're right about out of time anyway. So for everyone out there, if you like to come see Jenna and all of our other amazing speakers, go to RevolutionConf.com and buy your tickets today. And Jenna, thank you so much for chatting with Linda and myself for these couple minutes. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for chatting with me too. This was a blast.
And we're looking forward to meeting you in person in June.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Virginia.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Jenna.
Enjoy.
Take care.